Throughout history, theater has been a popular form of entertainment for many generations of people. It's a timeless form of storytelling that has stuck with us all these years, following us into the current day, because of how simple it is as a concept. A group of actors standing on a stage telling a story to a vast audience while acting as those characters in that story. But I'm not here to explain to you the history and creation of theater. I'm here to talk to you about the varieties of theater throughout history and its impacts on culture and society, more so one specific type in particular. Today I want to talk to you about medieval theater. More specifically in this video, I want to talk about the history of medieval theater, how it came to existence, and its effects on culture and society. Now before I continue, I want to say that I have left my sources for my research at the end of this video. Now, without further ado, let's travel back to 476 AD. The collapse of the Roman Empire. So while Rome was collapsing due to the many military losses against some of the barbaric tribes they were at war against, many of its citizens were leaving their homes so that they could avoid being skewered or captured by barbarians. This left many people to seek new places to live and rebuild after losing all their possessions back in Rome. But of all the large swaths of people that were relocating from their destroyed homes, we're going to focus on the surviving Roman performers, jugglers, and mimes that were looking for places to work and live. Since they were best at entertaining people, they decided with each other, what if instead of living in the towns, what if we don't do that? So instead of settling down in a king's court or finding a house to live in, most of these entertainers formed these nomadic tribes that would travel from town to town giving performances and telling stories throughout theater. These guys were the medieval equivalent of rock stars on tour. Wherever they showed up in a town, festivities and celebration would erupt in the streets, and everyone would have a blast. Now, all this seems fine, right? No one should have any problems with this? Yeah, this seems fine. Well, pal, the church and religious practitioners didn't exactly like these nomads and decided to deem these seemingly harmless acts as sinful, because these plays were seen as a mockery of God's creations and caused people to indulge themselves into these amusements and distracted them from the serious work of daily life. Now, deeming medieval theater in its early stage as sinful shouldn't seem that bad, but after the fall of the Roman Empire, a dark age followed after, as there weren't any solid political structures ruling, with political turmoil in every nook and cranny. Yep, found some right here. So without any governments to rule over the people, the church decided to step in as the government, and with this power, they could spread their ideologies of the big man in the sky, far and wide. And now... Hi, would you like to hear about our local church program? These guys keep showing up. So deeming early medieval theater as a sinful act should have killed this form of art off, right? Well, quite the opposite actually, rather as instead it assisted the growth of medieval theater. The Catholic Church eventually realized, if we can't make the nomads stop, what if instead we take this form of art and make it more Catholic-y? Thus the church began holding its own religious dramas that would be performed within the church's premises, and eventually performed outside of the church in the 12,000s, and eventually fizzling out of popularity and ending its reign in the 16th century. Now, that's the history of medieval theater, but you're still wondering, why was this type of theater so important, and what impacts did it have on society? Well, medieval theater was a source of entertainment and learning for the people of the medieval ages, as the Dark Age was still around and the medieval citizens really needed something to lift their spirits up. During these uncertain times, medieval drama was a powerful method in spreading the message about Christianity, and gathered more followers through this medium of art by telling the story of the Bible through medieval dramas. Back away, I told you! In conclusion, while theater did exist before and after the fall of Rome, medieval theater helped expand this form of entertainment across the area, and also spread the messages of Christianity. And eventually, the Catholic Church loosened their restraints of only making Bible stories told in Latin, and eventually opened the gates for other playwrights to create entirely new and unique stories for the medieval citizens, and for generations to come. Thank you.